And we are live for SPFBO panel number 17. And we are here tonight with the wonderful Britta Brown and Jonathan Weiss. How are we all doing tonight, or afternoon, I guess, for Jonathan?
It's morning for me, actually.
Morning.
But I'm doing very well.
Greetings from the future.
Yeah, how is tomorrow?
Same as yesterday, really.
All right.
You know what? Sometimes that's a win and we'll take it.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Britta, tell us about your entry into SPFBO. Tell us
Wow,
if
welcome. Just start talking right away.
Yeah. Tell us if this is your first time or
it.
your 16th, and why we should all follow you to the ends of the earth.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my first SPFBO, and I'm super excited. I came across it years ago after I had my first child, and I was just like killing time on the couch while breastfeeding, and I'm a big Redditor, so they follow it heavily over there. And I was like, what is this competition? This is amazing. And so been a big fan for a while. I've been a writer for a while and was like, that I want to do this. I want to write something that I feel confident entering into this batch of participants because everyone is just phenomenal. And so I wrote an urban high fantasy, which is how I like to ship it. It has all the high world building of a high fantasy epic, but it's set in haunted, spooky St. Augustine, Florida. And so I call in all the cryptids and monsters to tell the story of a witch in hiding who's formerly wicked and being investigated by her coven and has to kind of keep her head low. One of my beta readers, when she came across the book and was working with me, said it was a noir novel told from the femme fatale's POV. And then I added magic.
Nice.
So
awesome. And you didn't skimp on the pages either, I see.
No, she's chunky. So if you want a long book or a doorstop, this is a great option.
Excellent. Double duty. Hey, while we got you here, my Jonathan is out doing whatever he's doing. Mike and I were talking earlier, and we want to get your opinion, Britta. Who has the more dangerous wildlife, the U.S. or Australia?
I mean, I think it depends. Like, are we like? Ooh. I have to ask.
Bit of each country, yeah.
What region, right? Like, Florida has as much weirdness going on as I feel like Australia. I'm from the Southwest, so I'm from the high desert of California, and I grew up with like scorpions running over my feet, and that's pretty terrifying. But Australia has spiders the size of my head, so.
Look, you only find those spiders when you go like out back and stuff. Like, just about everyone lives in the coastal. Wow, I'm really losing this argument by the comments. If you're living in the coastal regions, like 90% of us do, then you're not going to see too much. You might see a snake or two, but they're going to mind their own business. If you go out back, you're probably going to you got to look out for dingoes a little bit, sure. There's some more snakes there, but again, just leave them alone. The spiders will get to you, sure, again, but probably the same about as your scorpions there, Britta. But look, you guys have bears and wolves and
they're in the woods. And you can see them coming.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like, if they are coming at you, what are you going to do about it? Like, if a bear is running at you.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. A black bear or a brown bear. Like, one of them you make big noise, one of them you just run and pray that you're faster than the other guy.
There it is. If me and Mike are in the woods, I don't need to beat the bear. I just need to beat Mike.
Yeah.
Yep. Did anyone watch Cocaine Bear when it came out?
No.
Yes.
Oh, such a good time.
So fun. Oh my God.
You actually watched it? Both of you both watched that?
I watched it in cinemas, and it was an empty cinema, but I had a good time.
I'm a big fan of horror comedy films. Like, one of my favorites is Black Sheep out of New Zealand. And I feel like American filmmaking doesn't capture like horror comedy very well. The last one I remember being that great was Cabin Fever back in like 1999. So I was stoked when Cocaine Bear came out. It's like, yes, we're getting back into this.
I think that would be the funnest kind of movie to try to make. A horror comedy, just because the horror genre is so rife with stupid things anyway. Right? That if you just, grasp onto it and acknowledge the futility of the whole thing, you probably have a really good time with it.
Yeah. Have you watched a Tucker and Dale versus Evil? It's another good example of all that.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, I am remiss because I did not ask you to tell us about your book and tell us what group you're in and why we should follow you to the ends of the earth.
So I am in, I think my page just refreshed. Can you still see me?
You're frozen, but at least on my computer.
Can you hear me? All right.
We can hear you.
If you can hear me, that's fine. I'll keep going.
You look like the Wayne World guy.
Yeah, hang on. I might just refresh. Sorry about this, guys. Hang on.
I usually freeze doing something wild, so at least he was looking very nice. Like, oh,
That's right. We should be like, oh.
All right.
There we go. Much better.
So, Blitz, not as hefty, unfortunately, but it is. I picture it as Mad Max with magic. It's about a mutiny aboard a walking fortress of scrap metal in a world that is just all desert wastelands, and then there's these buried sci-fi civilizations underneath. I think I'm in the Captured in Words group, and I almost got to enter last year's competition. It got published on June 17th, so I missed the cutoff by about 3 weeks. Come back for this year, really excited for this year. If this year doesn't work, I got another person in the series that I can enter next year as well. Anyway, I'm going to be back for more. I'm just really excited for it.
I wonder how they might change it next year, because they obviously had about 600 people try to get into it this year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Will it be more next year, right?
It has to be more next year, right? Just because of all of this type of thing going on with so many. I mean, Catherine Graham got us involved in this, so she's doing it. We're doing it. Other people, I'm sure, doing it. We got Matt from Beard of Darkness here. He's probably talking to people about it. And as these channels start to kind of grow a little bit, I think more and more writers are going to kind of cotton on to this and try to get in.
The problem's going to be who's going to be willing to read all those books. I mean, you got 10 groups now. You need more judges. That's going to be the
right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe either more judges or just run the competition more often.
I know. I like this suggestion. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, I have several behind me to choose from. So
I think
technically rifles are medieval. Like they were making them back then. So you guys can have fun with your axes.
Maybe what they should do is say, okay, the 9 or 10 people who are finalists, to be a finalist, you have to agree to be a judge the following year.
Oh, right. Well, that rules me out.
Well,
I can't read that fast.
It's not like you have to read it fast. But I mean, if you have more judges, maybe you don't have to read as many books, right? But you can still increase the number of books.
Yeah.
Give every judge like
the Oscars,
6,
right?
With more judges,
I did hear that they're talking about trying to do a horror one, but that doesn't necessarily help fantasy people. But
yeah. That is an interesting idea, though, to break them out more by genre, because there is the sci-fi one. Interesting.
Yeah, I think if you can break it out more by genre, and then I don't know I don't think people would like it otherwise. But if you put in a exclusivity term, like you can only enter one of these contests, that might kind of filter things out a little bit and get people kind of competing against kind of the right genres. Because like Molten Flux is a weird book because it is very heavy sci fantasy and it's really grimdark. So if they make a grimdark competition, I'd be entering that too. So yeah, I'd really have to kind of hedge my bets on which one I enter.
Yeah, I think you'd only be able to enter a book into one category, so you just kind of have to figure out where your strong suit is on there.
Yeah, maybe we just need more indie author competitions. There's more get started up. Kind of they'll give more chances, right?
That could happen too, right? I mean, you might find people start doing that and taking the model of the BBNYA competition and saying, okay, you can enter. It's going to cost you $10 for overhead, whatever it is, but.
Or we could just have Esme have her own, since she reads a book or more a day.
Her reading is amazing to me. I feel like every time I pop into Twitter, she's like, finished book 8 of the day. I'm like, I want to be that.
Right. Oh,
yeah, Brian has a good idea here.
I do like that. I think it's good. Like having kind of those extra chances to get in next year. But yeah, I don't know. Do you think it would kind of stack up eventually, like say 5 years down the road? Like you wouldn't really be seeing that many entrants, like you wouldn't get that many entrants through from new entrants. It would kind of be the overflow from the old entrants. I don't know if that like it's a good idea for next year, but I don't know if it's sustainable.
We need someone who's run like the New York City Marathon because they do that stacked entry style as well. Like what math are you all doing? What spreadsheet, and can we have a template?
Yeah. There's some kind of maths in here.
Yeah.
Hey, we wanted to talk about a couple of things other than your books. We'll get to the books.
I didn't sign up for that.
Feel free to throw in anything about your books that you'd like to as well. So, John, you paint Warhammer figures?
Oh yeah. I'll find a tank.
Don't worry, Britta, your turn is coming.
One of my boys.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So
Thank
how
you
many
very
of those figure things do you have lying around the house?
Too many. So I'm not a guy to go out and spend all the money at bars and partying and stuff. That all goes into the plastic. At least it did. I don't have as much of a spending problem anymore. Thankfully, I've got a 3D printer for that now. But yeah, I love painting the Warhammer figures, playing games with them. It's a really good social hobby, which, you know, yeah, you can have with people or you can have it without people too. So it's perfect for me when I feel like shelling up in the house and not seeing anyone for a week or two.
So is it just like a very kind of meditative kind of thing, or do you just enjoy huffing paint?
Both, yeah. The huffing paint is part of the meditation. Like, if my wife cracks out the nail polish, it smells like super glue, and it just takes me back, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is meditative. I do like doing it. It's a good kind of switch off the brain, just put something on TV, pastime. I'm never going to be the best painter in the world, but I just like doing the process.
Right. There you go. Well, someone else who enjoys process, Britta, TikTok videos.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
Committedly, a little over a year. I kind of like stalked around the platform while I was writing the first book that I released. Actually, for longer, because when I was writing this one, I was like, I need to figure out what TikTok is, because I am an elder millennial and it did not come naturally. I still don't think it comes naturally. I was like, well, let me figure out what's successful on TikTok, and it's always changing, and who is there, how to kind of like, what do I have to say? What am I adding to the platform, or am I just making more noise? So it was a lot of trial and error. And then the most kind of the niche I found was a year ago when I released a paranormal romance about a merman. And I was like, I will do mermaid, and I will only read the mermaid books that people want to know what they're about, but don't want to be seen checking them out from the library. And I'm just saying, check them out from the library because they are a blast. I'm done reading about mermen for about a year after it, but it's a very fun month. It's fun to talk about it on Book Talk because a lot of people are wondering, like, oh, I've seen that crazy book cover. What is this about? Or is it worth my time? A lot of them are, a lot of them are not. I won't tell you which are which because everyone's written a book and books need to be read. But it's a wild space on TikTok. Just wild.
So how do you walk that line between like giving information, making it entertaining, trying to get people to read your book?
So when I'm on top of my process, and that always changes, like if my household is like the kids are being crazy or my day job is being insane, I kind of fall off. But my plan is to post once a day, and every third video is something about my book, and that's the goal. And then I try to do something in the realm of the niche of TikTok, the corner I'm on. So that would be the book reviews or talking about books I've read or just anything book related. Sometimes it can just be, look at this pretty cover I found, or here's what my kids got at the library. And then the third, so of the three, and I took a marketing class a million years ago that talked about the thirds. And that other section is the personality stuff. And so some of those will be like me voicing over things about like the author process, but it's more so just showing who I am as a person, because that's what people engage with. And then doing something in the realm of book talk. And then I'll slip in like hey, here's a stupid meme about my book. You should read it. It has witches.
So I have a follow-up. You said you stalked TikTok for like a year before you got seriously into it. I just want to say that every time I say that I stalk something, Ro yells at me and tells me I can't say that.
Yeah, you get to a certain age, white man, where you can't be stalking anything.
Yeah, you shouldn't be saying that.
Super creepy.
Yeah. Okay. I hovered on the fringes of TikTok, swiping while rotting in bed.
Yeah. Instead of reading. I've got 3 books from Christmas that all of them I want to read. But when I go to bed, it's just much easier just to sit there and do that and then go, oh shit, 45 minutes, gotta go sleep.
I know, right? I got my dopamine hits. Now it's time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
It is a great way, though, if you're ever at a place or a time where you need to blow a half an hour. It's like, I can do this, it will feel like 5 minutes and we'll be out. You know?
And I'll save like animal videos for my kids to watch. So if they're just being nuts and need to sit for a second, I'm like, here are some penguins I found. And they're like, oh.
Right.
It work on me.
It worked on me.
Well, Jonathan, you should do something. You should do a TikTok video wearing that stunning kind of red burgundy suit that you have on your website.
I should.
The matching. I'm really disappointed you didn't wear it tonight.
Oh, I should. It's cold enough to make it work. So that's a tweed suit that I wore for my wedding, which was in spring. And it was about 24, 25 degrees Celsius on that day, which was fairly warm. I was sweating through that thing. So yeah, I should get that out. Like I haven't posted too much on TikTok just because like it feels like it's a lot of extra time, and like I've been trying to write full time and be publishing a book every 5 months. So a lot of times just going into just writing and editing stuff. Like I haven't been fully on top of the social media game as far as posting videos. So yeah, I'd love to get to a stage where you are, Britta, where you're able to kind of post one a day and kind of have a nice kind of rhythm down, right? But
it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. It must be. Like I'm barely getting out an Instagram post a day, and it's just a picture, you know?
Yeah.
A video.
How long does it take you, Britta?
Too much time.
I mean, seriously, not considering the time it takes you to develop the idea or concept or whatever, but to actually do the video, edit, and post.
I would say like 30 to 40 minutes, because I will get particular with the little cuts, and I'll try and cut out like breathings and ums and pauses. And I've gotten that's now. When I first started a 30-second video, I was filling an hour of my time just filming and messing up and learning how everything worked. I don't do very high-tech videos. Like there's people who do those really, really neat transitions where like snapping and a book shows up. I'm not good at that. And so I'm going to stay in my lane of, let me tell you about this book I read, or here's me pretending to like be a British man in a voiceover or something. Like I keep it simple, and then I'll batch them. So I'll kind of like Sundays when my kids are out playing in the backyard or something, I'm on CapCut looking for memes and just batching a bunch to throw out for the week. Because I don't get a lot of writing done on Sundays anyways. I was like, I can do this while I'm walking around after the kids.
Nice.
Okay, we've made it 18 minutes into the interview, and we haven't asked a silly question yet.
We haven't talked about
it's time.
Why do you deserve to win?
Orange. You like the color orange. That's why. No one's this orange.
What about pink, though? I'm kind of pinkish.
Well, I don't know. I think orange is this year's theme.
Pink is for Wednesdays only. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, here's your question. And Jonathan, I can't wait to hear your answer. Your main character wakes up in the center of an ice-covered lake. The sun is shining and it's very warm. The ice begins to crack in places. What does your main character do?
I'll let Britta take the first answer here.
So she would immediately identify that a meteomantic has been at work on the lake, because ice wouldn't be in warm weather in Florida, which means it's a weather witch. And she would go through her vast knowledge of spells. She's trained in the in-world combat called hand to hex. And so she would go through everything that she has learned to either counteract the spell or speed up the process of melting or reverse it to get off the lake. She's also a strong swimmer because she grew up in Key West.
Okay. Yeah. Good luck, Jonathan. You're next.
So I have multiple problems. So my boy Ryther, his magic is it's like based on making these scrap metal contraptions called Arkanites. This isn't going to help him here. He doesn't have any metal. the Droughtlands, the world which this is set in, is nothing but sand dunes. He's never seen a lake. I also magicked all liquid water out of the land because I didn't like that most desert stories are just like, damn, I'm thirsty. So I magicked that away. So he's never seen water before, let alone ice. Yeah, I think he's going to die. I think he's screwed. That's it. He doesn't know how to swim. So, yeah, good question. I lose.
I think the concept of a character who has never seen ice being trapped on a
let alone
like
water,
an iceberg
right?
like that would just like totally freak the dude out.
I don't think he even knows what cold is, you know, like
right on top of that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great question.
You've just killed his character. Well done.
That's okay.
That's
it
what
had
I'm
to
here
happen
for.
eventually.
That and stalking people.
Yep.
Okay, so Britta, did you say what group you were in?
I did not. I'm in covers with Cassidy. Cassie.
Have you looked at some of your competition in these other groups?
I have, yeah. I think there's a really cool spread of genres within sci-fi fantasy. A few of us that write fantasy romance were kind of discussing, those of us from the group that got in this year, and how that fantasy romance like showing is growing year over year, which is pretty cool. So there are two authors in the group that I know, and I've read their books. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just going to sit down next to those. Like, I'm happy to be here. My book is good. I believe in it, but I've also read some of the other books and they're just incredible.
And
Yeah,
Jonathan?
I can tell you the best way to go about this is just get the publicity that you can and make friends, network. And I mean, the winner gets a selfie stick. So, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'll take a selfie stick. Yeah, so my group, I mean, captured by words, captured with words. I keep forgetting. So they're a new judge, and like I looked at their YouTube channel, they're enormous. Like they got 100,000 followers on there. That's huge.
I'm jealous.
I had a look at. Yeah, they got a pretty varied group as well. So in there is Gabriel's Journey, the oldest book of the competition, 21 years old. So that's going to be fierce competition. It's a fine vintage.
I have shirts older than that. No worries.
That book's old enough to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm also in there with Diomedes, Stone and Sky. So that's fellow break-ins there for me. So that's going to be big competition. And yeah, I do have faith in my book. I'm hoping that the unique concept, the unique setting, and just the action of it is going to see me through. I think that's the only contrast I have with Stone and Sky, which I think is going to be the main competition for me. So yeah, if they're looking for something traditional, Stone and Sky has them covered. If they're looking for something untraditional, that's where I'm hoping to come in. But you're exactly right, bro. It's sorry, Mike. It's just about getting the publicity that I can through it as well. So fingers crossed.
So I'll tell you, we interviewed Wick Welker last night. He's one of the finalists in SPFBO. And he said this was the second year that he entered his book because they allow you to enter it if it didn't get to the semifinals. And he said it got cut early last year, and this year he's a finalist. So it's really luck of the draw. You can have a judge that it really hits with, or you could have one that just misses. So the idea that they're picking the best book is kind of silly because there is no best book for more than one person to decide. So yeah. So like I said, don't get hung up in the competition. Just enjoy the ride and make friends and talk to people like us.
Yeah, definitely.
But should it come to it, and you make the finals, and it's only you against 9 other kids. Yes.
So this is my 3D printed Mad Max shotgun, and I was a bit too violent with it. Whoopsie.
Oh, I thought you were just like breaking it to load shells. You actually broke it.
I broke it, yeah.
Oh man.
Whoopsie daisy.
We're going to get sued, Mike.
Oh dear.
Well, at least if he comes and tries to shoot us, we don't have to worry.
Yeah, it's fake.
So I mean, you've seen some of the finalists from last year, right? I mean, they all seem to get along to a tremendous degree with they have their own little Discord channel. Has there been any talk of stuff like that within your first level groups?
Not that I've heard yet. No, I think we're all waiting for the competition to start before anything really kicks off. And I've just been pretty tied up between releases and other stuff to actually start really networking. But hopefully we can get there soon.
Yeah, I hope so. I've seen a bunch of like on my end, people in my group and we friended each other and followed on different socials just to kind of stay around. I followed Jonathan today. I was like, this guy, yes. But just kind of that quiet. And then I'm expecting June 1st to just kick off and just be fun.
It's going to be a long time, though. I mean, it takes a really long time for this contest to play out. So, I mean, I'm almost glad that, I missed the coin flip. Well, I missed being at the coin flip. But just so you don't have that kind of anxious kind of hanging over your head waiting.
So I can tell you from last year I was in, and I don't think anyone got cut in June. Maybe like 1 book, 2 books got cut in June. That's it. So all of June is just quiet. And you're like, come on. When is it? When are they going to strike? And then even in July, it was kind of slow. And I remember Mark Lawrence put a post. He goes, so far, we've eliminated 46 books, and there are 37 days before the final cut has to be made. So the bloodbath must begin soon. And you're just like, So,
Scary,
yeah, it's a lot of. Is that sword going to fall? So,
now, do you guys get the secret code word to contact the guy who runs this thing?
The what now?
Who's the guy that runs it, Mike?
Mark Lawrence.
Do you get the secret password to be able to like email him directly?
Not yet, I guess. I think we need to make it in the semifinals for that.
Well, when you do, let him know that we want to talk to him.
Will do.
Ro, I actually did get in touch with him finally.
Oh, did you? Did he tell you pound sand?
Well, no, he was much nicer than that, but but that was the message. Yeah,
right.
He basically said he's done any number of these panels and he's all SPFBO questioned out, so he's going to pass.
He hasn't done.
He'd probably tell you just to play.
And I was like, we have 170 people who follow up, and you're not going to come on our channel.
Well, when we get big time and he wants to come on, we'll just tell him.
Yeah, he's not even in the top 10 Twitter and for England anymore. He's 11th now, so
Who needs him? Never going to win now if I ever get it.
Yeah.
All right.
So I do have a question, or actually a
real question.
Well, not really. If you should make the finals, if you saw any of our interviews this past year with this finalist from SPFBO 9, it was a pillow fight. They were all, oh no, I love her books. I hope we all tie. I'm fine if I lose. These people are awesome. Can you throw some elbows, talk some trash, do something?
You got to keep up the kayfabe.
The what?
The kayfabe. The like, I'm pretty sure that's like the WWE or whatever wrestling term for like keeping up the fake beef. You got to keep up the fake animosity so people believe it's real.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can go around and sing Kumbaya and share a Coke on a mountaintop all you want.
That doesn't get clicks.
When you're in here, though, you need to, fight dirty.
I reckon like we can make a little secret Discord group and we can like coordinate some feuds and stuff and like get some real drama going.
I feel like I remember years ago, Clayton Snyder did that with somebody else during a SPFBO where they just like had a completely fake like rival and all of their Twitters were like, this book is poo and like staging it. I feel like it might have been like a no sleeping newborn memory that I manifested, but I feel like this happened and it was fantastic. So I'm on board. If I make it to finals, anybody want to have fake beef with me? I'm down to play. That sounds great.
No, it's not going to be fake. It's going to be real.
But this is one of the books I'm up against. It's hot trash.
It's nowhere near as good a doorstop.
It must be.
Multifunctional, Britta. Multifunctional.
Yeah.
I'm all about, like multifunctional tools in the kitchen, just like the Food Channel taught me. So
it can be repurposed. You read it and then you repurpose it as a doorstop.
Exactly.
I mean, it was a tree before. It was just sitting in the ground. So what's the difference?
Right. Now I've given it, tattoos and a purpose. So
it wasn't even a doorstop when it was a tree.
Right. just sitting outside, letting bugs that could kill it, run around.
Making air. Ugh.
Did you comment on the comment thing, Jonathan?
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't I do that?
Apparently, we've never seen anybody do that before.
Oh, it's participation, you can multitask.
All right.
Yeah, he's not old like us, Ro.
I've got ADHD. I'm good at doing 8 things at once.
I'll be trying to text when I'm walking, and I end up stopping in the street. My kids are like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, that's fair enough, though. Safer.
Well, they just sit there, and then they go, "Watch this, Dad," and they just stare me in the eyes, and their thumbs are moving,
Yeah.
And then they show it to me. It's like, you little bastards. Whatever.
Okay, well, there's a lull, so I'm going to roll for the next
Roll,
question.
man.
Oh boy!
You
All right, let's see if we can get a more disappointing question.
Ooh,
We're rolling for
20.
questions, man. I'll bring my dice tray.
A natural 20, everyone.
Woohoo!
And I'm not asking that because that's too easy for Jonathan.
It's a desert question. Yes.
It's a natural
It's
20.
It's about a post-apocalyptic world, so we have to skip
Oh,
that.
dang! I'm missing out.
So
You
we're going
all
to do
that one
timeline
after the
instead.
iceberg.
Your main character has taken the place of Watson in a Sherlock Holmes story. How would the story change?
Oh well. Watson is a very patient character, as I gather from Sherlock Holmes. Reiser is not a very patient character, and I think that Sherlock is going to quickly find himself trying to keep Reiser out of trouble. But otherwise, I think it'll go fine.
Sherlock Holmes is kind of a dick, though. I don't know if he would keep him out of trouble.
I think you'd get him into trouble. I think it would be funnier.
I think Holmes would just let him go.
Yeah, it would be farcical almost.
Yeah. Do you want to answer my questions or his?
There you go. There's your story. Write one of those from Holmes's point of view, but make Holmes his own really weird dude.
Yeah, could do that.
Okay, sorry, Britta.
And you, Britta?
Say Mia is not a very patient character. She gets frustrated very easily. She's also she's got my ADHD, I see everything all the time brain. So she would be completely frustrated to be restrained in that way, and it would just be chaos and punching down walls the entire mystery.
Nice.
No, we're going straight through this.
So, Britta, your character has an antique store?
Yes.
So are antiques something that you kind of dabble around with, or?
Not really. There is an antique store in my town that I wandered into years ago, and I immediately had a claustrophobic attack. It was just they went to every garage sale and estate sale, I think, in the state of North Carolina, and shoved it all into one store in the downtown. And you're going through rickety aisles and things. And it was when I was workshopping her character, trying to figure out what would this witch in hiding, formerly wicked, dabbling in occult items do. And so she runs an antique store as a front to sell occult items on the magical eBay.
Nice.
But it was inspired by the store I walked into, and we tried to buy something, and the lady looked at me, looked at my husband and the item in my hand, a candlestick, a brass candlestick, and went, "No."
She wouldn't sell it to you?
And I said, "Can I buy this?" She goes, "No." And I said, "Is it a set? I'll get the set." She goes, "No, that's not for you."
Oh,
I loved it. I wasn't
that's
even
great.
My husband was like, "Are you mad?" I said, "No, I'm writing that down. That's amazing."
Oh, good.
Did you not carry that conversation forward a bit?
I was kind of startled.
They said no. What more do you need, right?
No is a complete sentence, and
It is.
The store was kind of it had vibes, and I was like, I don't think this is for me. I'm gonna roll with that.
Yeah.
I mean, can someone legally say no?
I think you should read the first chapter of this book.
Yeah, it turns out you can do that.
That story's in there?
It's the inspiration for the opening came from just that entire exchange. No, You can't have it. It's not for you. And even like there's another character that comes in and says the job of store owner and shop owner is customer comes in, customer wants to buy item, you sell them item, and we continue with our day.
Right.
But it was a wild experience. I am afraid of hoarding tendencies. Being an ADHD floor drobe person, that I will not dabble in antiques because I would have like 18 clocks and all the brass candlesticks. And
let me tell you about Mrs. Bushy. So we found a few years ago, they do auctions online.
Oh,
right? Yeah. We have like one of our kids' rooms that they have vacated. It's now we've probably got 6 tables, like small kind of tables in there, right? And there's the garage has like chairs in it everywhere, all kinds of stuff. It's kind of crazy. And you can get into these things and go, oh, that. And we have an open floor plan house, which means we have no freaking walls, right? But she's forever buying mirrors and stuff. It's like, oh, I really like this mirror. It's like, we have no wall to put a mirror on. So I understand your aversion to hoarding tendency. But God, they are fun going to auctions.
Oh, they're super fun. I know what my closets look like. I know what my bookshelves look like. Don't need to go there.
Somebody said, yeah, very, very, the Seinfeld soup Nazi guy.
No soup for you.
No soup for you. All right, Mike, what else you got hiding out?
Do we want a serious question or another ridiculous one?
Serious.
Ridiculous one's pretty fun. But yeah, all right, you're the host.
we got time for another goofy one after.
Okay.
That's true.
Let's see. Well, then.
2 screens going there, Mike?
I got 2 screens going.
Look at you.
I have 2 screens going.
The question I was actually looking at, and I said, no, I'll roll the die instead. Same question. What kind of research do you do when building your fantasy worlds other than going to antique stores? Jump at it. Jonathan, you said something. You go first.
All right. That's how it works. A lot of my research, because I'm making everything up, comes out of up top. So it is a lot of thinking on paper, but at the same time, like I'm trying to mirror a lot of real world concepts, a lot of the deep kind of underground buried magic and ancient ruins and stuff. I'm using this as this big metaphor for radioactive waste and long-term radiation effects. So I did a bit of research into this field of nuclear semiotics. Like, how do you leave a message that's going to last 10,000 years to warn people away from radioactive waste that's buried underground? Like past when, our own civilization's gone, when our language has changed so much that the regular signs don't mean anything. So there's this really cool field of study about creating these foreboding shapes to create this shunned land. And so I've used that in the way that I design the ruins that these characters go into. To make a quick cross promote, I'm actually giving a whole presentation on this kind of thing at the Right Hive Con on June the 8th. Are you there too?
I'm on the Paranormal Masterclass panel.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I'll be giving a solo presentation. I'm making a big speech for that. I think the script is running at about 5,000 words. So bring some popcorn and a cozy blanket because I'll be talking for a while. But yeah, I can definitely talk more about that. But yeah, like there's a lot of really interesting real world concepts you can leverage off when you're looking at a post-apocalyptic world, because the human psyche has been getting ready to lose everything ever since it stepped out of a cave.
So what I heard was that you go in the outback, you get bit by a spider the size of a dinner plate, and you hallucinate all this stuff.
No.
Yes, that's exactly it, actually. See, we got it more convenient now. We had, how you got Uber Eats for food? We got that kind of like for the big spiders, so we don't actually have to go to the outback.
Spiders come to you.
Yeah.
Wake up like the
I want a
Hobbit.
dinner plate, conveniently enough. It's the same size.
Just so you know you're getting what you paid for.
Yeah. It's like the guy who got like an 11-inch foot-long sub and just posted Subway Y.
They give them free subs out of it?
I think yeah, it was like a whole thing, man. Like I think Subway had to like completely restructure everything. It's crazy.
So Britta, how about you? No pressure, but top that answer.
I will not be able to because that's incredible. Wow. That's amazing.
thank
So
you.
I'm just kind of like I will be attending your speech at Right Hives.
Awesome. That's one.
What is this event called?
It's Right Hive Con. So right is in what we do. Hive and then con.
Right Hive Con.
Fine.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll find a link and drop it in the chat.
I'll find it.
I'll beat you to it.
So Britta,
Yeah. So
you're not
for
off the hook.
no, so I will try to get air while he is loitering above the pool watching me flounge right now. Being urban high fantasy, I was helped out that it is a contemporary setting in a real world space, and so I delved really deeply into lore and witchcraft. I have a good friend who's practicing Wiccan, and she kindly enough brought me to a couple sabbats a few years ago. So I'm saying the words wrong, I swear. And so I got kind of a firsthand experience seeing like how rituals are performed, what the basis of a ritual is, what you focus on, how you align intents and stuff, and use that to build out the magic system. And then within that, I delved into different lore and different practicing fields of witchcrafts to build out one unique. And then the crux of the story is my elevator pitch is hipster witch versus multi-level marketing Huns. And so I built a power structure around multi-level marketing and how all that power stems up to the top and the person at the top is reaping all the benefit. And
that's so good.
Yeah, and that's why we have the Karens are out in full force in this book. If you dislike a Karen, this is the book for you.
Nice.
But so in that, I had to go on a very uncomfortable delve into the world of multi-level marketing to understand how they speak, the lingo, the things they sell, the cattiness in the back chat while they're being so positive and friendly out front. For anyone who wants a brief journey, Elle's Punique blog is a fascinating read about a woman selling like a makeup and facial care MLM and how it destroyed her life. And she's come out the other end and just rakes everything across the coals and says, this is what's happening. And it was utterly fascinating and very rife for a magic-based system where the power goes up and the person at the top feeds off of it.
Sounds like capitalism.
Yeah, I know.
That answer tops mine. That's awesome.
different corners, right? Great.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, we want one more silly question.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5 again. We've had this before.
Ask a different one. Roll again.
Which would you rather do? Saddle up a T-Rex or fly a griffin down the main street of your city?
Ugh. Saddle up a T-Rex.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take the T-Rex because I don't trust myself in flight. I was only made for gravity and stuff, I own birds and I see how they fly. I don't know how they do it, man. I'm going to take the T-Rex.
Yeah, I gotta go T-Rex for bragging rights because that's just awesome. And there are way too many bugs in the lower altitude in North Carolina right now, and I'm not interested in that. Even with goggles, no.
It's gonna be awful.
So where in North Carolina?
I'm in Raleigh.
Raleigh? Oh, okay. Ro and I are just above you in Virginia. So.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
We're gonna get a bunch of people together and go see Dave do his comedy show.
If you watched last night, Dave Dobson does improv comedy. He's also in North Carolina.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, we told him, when you going, we'll be there to heckle you.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it together. The SPFBO hecklers crowd. I love it.
He basically told us that you don't heckle at improv unless you're just a dick.
So I'm going to heckle.
That might be a bit of a drive for you, Joe. Sorry.
Look, if I can drive there, I'll be blown away. If I can do it on wheels, woo!
we travel much more as a country. I think Americans would travel much more if we could actually drive somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. 48-hour trip to England? We're on it.
If you could drive there in 48 hours, that's pretty fast, I think.
So we have come to the end of our allotted time, but please hold up your book one more time and tell us that it's wonderful and how you're going to just smack the other guy right out of the competition.
It's a good, I think a sideways smack is a good one. I feel like if you go down, you're not
Well,
getting a kind of repulsing
if you go
effect.
this way, you get the backswing real easy.
Yeah, or you can
the
get a little
cheaper
jab
ones.
on it as well. I need a hardcover.
So good luck with competition. Remember, it's not about winning. You'll get at least one good review out of it, I'm sure, if not more. And anyone who's watched this whole time needs to go buy your book because it's only fair.
That's
Yep.
right.
And just a quick plug, I'm actually having a sale on Molten Flux. It'll be 99 cents for US and UK readers for from the 24th at 8 a.m. I keep forgetting I'm living in the future compared to you guys. But yeah, go get it.
And then mine will go on sale starting on the 28th through the month of June. And then for June, I have several MM and I have a Sapphic book coming out on June 3rd. Those will also be on sale for Pride.
Nice. So when we go off the channel, hang on here because I need information because I always put books that are on sale or free or whatever in my newsletter, and I want your information. So, but Ro, do you have any words of wisdom to share?
No, we met. No.
Just checking, inspiration might have hit.
Yeah, that's unlikely at this time of night.
Okay, well, then it is time for us all to wave awkwardly.
Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.